Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna be posting another recap for today. This is fuck, what day is it? Oh, it's Monday, the 9th of February, 2026. Going over today's price action. What I ended up taking. I ended up taking, nothing today. So I'm gonna be going over why I didn't end up taking anything. But today's price action, not gonna lie, it was pretty saucy. Um, but just no ideal entry for me, to be honest. The IFVG plays were just not really there in my opinion, but there was one and then a second one that I really wanted to see happen that just didn't happen. But the best setup of the day, the two best setups was this Judas swing on 9:30, and then that's kind of it. The actual best setup just didn't happen. So let me go over that. So cool. Let's go back here. Dun dun dun. No way. Oh my god, my trading view plan ran out. That's actually so tragic. Okay, anyway, looks no. Okay, looks like we're not gonna be able to go back. Let me just whatever. Okay, cool. So coming into the market, I had a pretty strong. No, I didn't actually have a strong anything. I was leaning bearish until this 4 hour gap got hit. We had a low inside of the 4 hour here, and this is what I wanted to see get hit, and then from there we could presume to see bullish price action, or if we were going to be bearish, we displace through this low and then end up, you know, continuing lower. We had an SMT as well with this low, so for this SMT to be valid, we had a 15-minute gap up here on the S&P 500 and on Nasdaq as well. If we were to enter that gap and respect it and then start moving lower, we could see that this SMT would have probably not held and it would have been invalid, but we ended up just completely disrespecting that 15-minute bearish gap, bearish gap, and moving higher on the S&P 500. So yeah, reason why I was bearish down to this 4 hour at minimum was due to how we reacted off of this 4 hour, and we also had an SMT with the D's highs up here where ES was in this gap above us here, so we had an SMT inside of a key level, which was pretty significant. So I would expect for us to at least come down to this 4 hour. So coming into market open, I was looking for a trade down to this 4 hour. If we had a Judas swing higher, maybe into a key level above, wherever it may be, like maybe swept out these highs, Judas swing, whatever, and then a inversion down towards this gap. And with a decent low resistance liquidity here as well to support us moving lower. But we ended up having a really clean Judas swing on market open, which ended up coming down here and sweeping out this 4 hour low with an SMT inside of a key level. This was looking pretty clean. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5 candle inversion through this 1 minute gap, which is a pretty big 1 minute gap. So this isn't a terrible inversion. And for this, you could have targeted this high right here, these internal highs. This would have been the ideal entry for this inversion, or ideal target. And this inversion, it really wasn't that bad at all. It was great. It was a 930 PO3. It was decent. But the only thing I just wasn't a fan of was how ES was already at my break even point. So ES was already a lot further up than NQ. So we had SMT internally. And we also had this second gap as well. The second 1 minute gap, which we failed to inverse until we took out the internal high, which would have been my break even. And it was kind of just, I don't know, I just wasn't the biggest fan with the way we were reacting in this gap as well. It was okay, but if you did take this, good job, because this first inversion here, fair enough. But again, the close on this inversion, like I'd rather just see clean displacement. So it is what it is. Yeah, I decided to fade that just for those reasonings. And if we were going to be bullish from this gap, I did want to see more confirmation. So I was willing to just sit this out and then wait for a continuation model to present itself, which is when we got to here. Now, this was looking extremely saucy, but it ended up not happening, which was super unfortunate. Where was it? It was right here, I think, right? No. Hold on, where was it? Okay, well, it was in this here. Yeah, okay, cool. Wait. Oh, yeah, right here. Cool. So we opened up this 15-minute fair value gap. and this was at 10 a.m. We opened up this at 10 a.m. So right, just this is like an A plus setup to the dome if this happened. Because let's have a look at this. We had a 9:30 PO3 where we opened lower. Cool. So that's one PO3. That's a 9:30 PO3. And then what would we have had if we ended up doing? So we came into this 5 minute, and we kind of chopped around inside this 5 minute. So when 10 a.m. opened, I was like, okay, cool. This is looking absolutely beautiful. If we want to be bullish here, we can accumulate here. 10 a.m. opens up. We start to see some movement lower. We have a stop hunt inside of a gap. So we have this stop hunt right here inside of this gap, and we tap the 15-minute fair value gap that opened at 10 a.m. This would have been A plus plus because we had a stacking PO3 with 9:30 in a. This would have been a sponsored 15-minute, sponsored by the 4 hour. Clear draws higher, being London session liquidity, Asia session liquidity above, which we had yet to take out on both pairs. So this just would have been absolutely fantastic if we manipulated in here at 10 a.m. stacking PO3 at 9:30, displaced out of it. You could have, I bet my house on it that like this would have been A plus 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 plus. But it is what it is. That didn't happen. We ended up opening at 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. did literally nothing, and then we ended up just displacing higher at 10:03, and we did inverse a 2 minute gap. But oh my god, I'm trading on Project X right now, which is tragic. So I don't have any of the trading view premium things. We displaced through this 2 minute gap, which we had right here, and we just started displacing higher. Is what it is. And if you took anything within here, fair enough. I know there was like a clean, there was like a 30-second around here somewhere, but again, just way too close to 10 a.m. Would much rather not risk the chance of getting manipulated and just wait for us to resweep stop hunt inside this 15-minute gap and then start making our moves higher, which would have been absolutely ideal. And then I think we had another few comps here with this 5 minute and all that, where we inversed a 3 minute gap right here. But again, this wasn't really sponsored by anything because 10 a.m. did nothing. So we did manipulate into a PD red at 10 a.m. We left this 15-minute gap as a breakaway. This was getting pretty close. This was literally at 10:30 as well. So again, you are risking getting manipulated at 10:30. And again, I know that we already had the manipulation prior to 10:30, technically speaking. But again, this gap wasn't sponsored, so I just wasn't a huge fan of this. But we had a lot of really, really good eval trades, evaluation account trades today. I'm not gonna lie, but just for me, what I really, really wanted to see was this. This would have been absolutely fantastic. A plus to the dome. Would have taken that in my sleep if it presented itself. But it's just unfortunate that we left that 15-minute as a breakaway gap, and that 10 a.m. didn't do anything. We didn't end up getting that stacking PO3 with 9:30. So yeah, and then from there we were just super super bullish for the day, which is pretty cool. I guess we're probably going to be leaving this bearish range now, this bearish trend range, and start to make some moves higher. Did take out some significant draws. I think we're rejecting off of. Oh, we kind of left these lows down here. Oh, what the hell is that? Anyway, I think we respected. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Um, but yeah, so the only really good setup that actually played out and that I was debating on taking was this Judas swing at 9:30 with this inversion. This was pretty clear, but again, for me, I just decided to not take it because I just wanted more confirmation that we were actually going to be bullish from that. And then this would have been it here. This would have been the A plus setup if we ended up doing that stop hunt and running this liquidity, tapping that M15, displacing higher. Would have been absolutely fantastic. I would have taken literally any any fair value gap that presented itself in this leg of rise if we did that, even if it was a 15 second. I wouldn't even give a shit. Like that would have been fantastic. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the day. Faded everything. Every setup literally played out today. It was just one of those days. But for me, there's just no real A plus plus setups that I liked. This was like my ideal one that I wanted to see happen. We had this 5 minute, but it wasn't really sponsored. And there was a 3 minute here, but there was also a 5 minute here as well. As you can see, this little 5 minute, we did inverse this 5 minute pretty nicely, but it's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of 5 minutes. If anything, I would have taken the 3 minute because of the displacement through the 3 minute. But again, this gap wasn't really sponsored by much, and you're risking getting manipulated out of 10:30, and none of this is sponsored either. So it is what it is. So yeah, that's basically it for today's recap. No trades taken. Hopefully tomorrow presents more price action like this. and we get a solid opportunity to take some longs again, I'd be all for that. So yeah, that's basically going to be it for today's recap. If you guys have any questions or if you guys took anything today, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to leave my Instagram, TikTok, and Discord in the bio of this video as well. If you guys want to go and check them out or ask me any questions personally, feel free to shoot me a text on either three of those platforms. And yeah, documenting the entire journey to profitability. So I'm excited for the journey ahead. I'm excited to help people in the future and show people what it takes to actually put time and effort into skills like this and learn from them and make yourself better and make your life better overall. So I'm excited for the future. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next trade recap. So yeah, peace.